Hello and welcome to the Dad Whisperer. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Watson, and I'm thrilled that you're joining me again today because this tells me that you care about the importance of a dad's role in the lives of his kids. And it's my desire each week, you know this by now, to bring you relevant topics that support that goal, especially when it comes to the dad-daughter relationship. In case you're new, just joining us, I want you to know that every week the template is on your mark, get set, go, where you picture yourselves as fathers standing side by side each other, ready to run your fathering race this week. On your mark is the topic. Get set. I'm filling that topic in with stories, sometimes with stats, and then every week you're going to have a go step where you have an action plan that you can put that theme into motion this week with your girls, even with your sons. Well, today I'm excited to have a guest joining us by the name of Hannah Ellenwood. And Hannah and I go way back. I first met Hannah when she was only 8 years old. Guess where? In the Czech Republic. Yep, that's where she grew up. And I have loved her and her family ever since I first met them. They're just like that. They're those kind of people that you want to be around them. You want them to be your best friends. And I'm sure by the end of this interview, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Hannah's 26 years old. She's now living in LA. And I want to tell you a couple reasons that I've invited her here today. Number one, I've watched her relationship with her dad. I've seen them thrive as a dad and daughter duo at many different ages over the past couple decades. And number two, I want her to share from a daughter's point of view how her dad supports her, encourages her, and a little bit about how they navigate this whole adulting thing. And I believe it's important for you as dads to learn from a daughter, not just from the dad, about what she needs in this season of her life. Because when you hear it directly from a daughter, I believe it's going to go way deeper into your heart space because you're going to hear her voice. Well, I guess you could say that you're going to kind of be vicariously mentored by her dad, Mel, today during our conversation. Welcome, Hannah.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks.
I'm so excited you're here. We get to have a conversation across the miles. Well, on your mark today, Hannah and I have come up with this title. We're calling it Dependent Independence. Partnering with your daughter as she navigates adulting. Okay, Hannah, the word adulting might not be one that every dad knows. Can you define it?
Yeah. So it's a term that a lot of millennials are using right now to define that period of time after you graduate college and kind of start doing a lot of life on your own independently. So anytime you're like starting to file taxes for the first time or figure out how to sign up for benefits at work, or starting to pay your bills, people would refer to that as adulting.
I love it. Okay, well, before we start and get into this conversation, just so that everyone gets to know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the firstborn of 3 kids. Me and my siblings are all 2 years apart. I have another sister who's in the middle and a younger brother. We all moved to the Czech Republic when I was 6 as a family to be missionaries over there. And my parents still live there today. So they've been there 20 years now. And I loved growing up living on mission like that with my family. I think that's partly why me and my dad are so close, is because our whole family lived on mission together. And that really bonds you in a very unique way, especially when you're in a foreign country that none of you, at the beginning, none of you know and understand. So, I've been very thankful for what that has done for our family. I graduated college in 2015. I moved back to the States and came to LA, went to Biola University to study marketing. And since then, I've done a lot of work in the marketing world, both working as a producer at a luxury marketing company and then as a freelance consultant for venture capital firms and other consulting agencies in the city of Chicago.
Go, girl.
I'm now moving back to LA to start ministry at a church here.
Oh, that's awesome. I love just hearing your passion. I think everyone listening is like, whoa, I would love a daughter that has that much passion. And like you said in your intro, a lot of what you're doing now, I know your story, so I know much of it is rooted in your solid relationship with your dad, and that's why I want other dads and daughters to hear your story. Since we're talking about your relationship with your dad, how about if you just fill us in a little bit on the backstory? Like, have your dad and you always been close? Did you always get along? Did you ever hit any speed bumps along the way?
Yeah, so like I said, I think living on mission definitely bonded us in a very unique way from the time we were really little. And me and my sister have just always felt super close with our dad. He is the safest person to us in the world. And still, I think sometimes I wonder or question if I call him too much to talk through stuff because I just enjoy it. Like I always enjoy our conversations, and he is one of the most trusted people in my life. So I think growing up, my dad was very intentional with us as girls, and there were definitely speed bumps along the way. I was actually just watching our home videos when we were home for Christmas. My mom had digitized all of them. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to see my dad's voice and tone in those videos because it was a little bit sharper and harsher than I experience him now. I don't think I noticed it then, but the contrast has been so significant when you watch it back. And I think one of the things he's learned over the years is what it means to be delighted in by his Abba Father, and that has completely changed how he delights in me and my sister as our father. So that has been a huge gift to watch that happen in my dad. I think another big thing that I remember feeling as a speed bump was that there was sometimes like a miss with my dad. I wanted him to be more vocal and encouraging me or speaking truth to me, especially in the area of self-worth or image, because I think growing, especially in high school, feeling completely out of my element in a different country, like already feeling like the outsider, and then going through puberty and starting to see my body through a filter of what the world told me I should look like. That is when I needed to hear my dad be even more vocal about what is true about who I am. And I think that was something I had to learn to communicate and ask for, because he wouldn't have known that's what I needed to hear. Yeah. And then he needed to learn to respond to that and learn to love me in the way I needed to be loved. So that was a very significant step in our relationship, to learn to communicate what I needed so that he could respond and love me well in that.
Yeah, so it sounds like you had to ask your dad for what you needed a bit in that stage of life.
Yeah.
How did he respond?
I didn't want to have to.
Yeah. We want our dads to just know.
Yeah. And I think that's going to serve me well. I'm not in a relationship now, but I'm learning that kind of communication is going to be super important to learn for marriage or relationships moving forward, because you can't expect somebody to know how to love you well if you're not communicating what you actually need. So his response was really great. He actually apologized for missing me in those places. And I think that, there's always times I wish there are always times that I wish he would say a little bit more, but he has totally responded to my ask in that with meeting me in it. And so there are times that in high school, I would walk out of my room and just really wish that my dad would tell me how beautiful I looked that day because I had tried extra hard or something, or I felt really good in a new sweater I bought. And before I had communicated that ask, he may not have said anything because he didn't know I needed to hear that. But then he would follow up after I asked that with really complimenting me on specific things that were true. He wasn't overdoing it or doing it just because I asked all the time, but always looking to things that were true and pointing those out and what he saw.
I love that. Well, I know that some dads may think that the majority of their role as a father of a daughter maybe ends by the time she's launched, into adulthood, into college, or even graduating college. Any thoughts on that?
My initial thought is it's not true. I think I actually know my need for my dad now more than ever. When you're younger, you're almost like pushing for your independence, and then you gain it after you graduate from college, or while you're in college, you're feeling that pull of independence. Right. And you realize, I still need my dad. And I recognize that I need him now more than I ever did, because I'm making all of these adult decisions and I don't know what I'm doing. So I would say that independence is important, but we need our dads.
Yeah, exactly.
And realize it more than ever.
Like you said, you realize it now. I think that's a really powerful statement, Hannah, is that when you were going through all these developmental things and you're running 100 miles an hour through high school and college, you're like, okay, I have support around me. But when you're launched into adulthood, it's a whole different arena where you don't have maybe a built-in community or built-in support on campus. Yeah. And needing your dad now, you're more aware of that more than ever before.
Totally. And there's so much new, I think, going on in your life as you're figuring out who you are in that season, that it's even more important to have someone who knows you in the context of your whole life and story. Yeah. supporting you and speaking to you and guiding you through decisions.
So let's put your dad on the hot seat, even though he's not here. Where does your dad get it right now? Like, where does he get it right when it comes to connecting with your heart in supporting you now as an independent adult woman?
One of the best things he has done in the past few years is to keep pursuing me. I really appreciate that my dad, as soon as I left for college, didn't just drop off the face of the earth. He pursued me with the same intentionality as he did when I was living in his home. And I remember the day that I left for college. I was getting on a plane by myself to fly from Czech Republic to California, and my mom was a wet mess of tears, and my dad just kept laughing at her and smiling. And I was like, "Why aren't you sad? I want you to be sad about this with me. This is a big deal." And he just said, "Hannah, I have been building into you for the past 18 years and discipling you and getting to be a part of what God's doing to create this woman that you are now. And now I get to launch you. I get to send you out from here. And I am so excited to just watch what God does in your life. I'm confident in who you are, confident in who God is in you. And now we get to watch what happens. And that is like one of the proudest moments for me as a dad.
Oh, that's so cool.
That meant the world to me. And it kind of gave me this boost of confidence. Like, yes, I can do this. My dad believes in me. He's proud of me and he's sending me, but I also don't feel like he's just dropping me. I know that anytime I need something, anytime I have a question, anytime I need to talk through a hard situation, I can call him and I have his support. And I don't know if this is the right way to say it. Switched from parenting to partnering. It's still parenting, but it's a different way of doing it than up until 18.
Yeah, I love that. We're partnering differently. It's not just parenting. That's a profound way to put it. Okay, let's let you be honest. Any mistakes? Because obviously we know that growth isn't just forward movement, right? Sometimes it's 3 steps forward, 1 back, or 2 back. Any mistakes you can think of, or hard times or speed bumps in your adulting where your dad came alongside you?
Yeah, I think there's been a very recent one for me.
Okay.
I have been an independent contractor for the past year and went to file my taxes a couple weeks ago and realized that the sum of money that I owed was 3 times what I thought it would be. And that was just something I didn't know to anticipate because it's my first time doing it. I knew I needed to count for more than I would at a normal full-time job. But anyways, my dad walked me through that and helped me learn from my mistake by asking questions so that I know how to move forward in the future. And he also went to bat for me, finding someone that would help me, someone professional that would help me navigate all of that.
So he found that person.
He did. Yeah.
Did he ask you if you wanted him to find that person, or did he just step in and do it?
With that, he just stepped in and did it. He was like, "This is too much money. I think the best decision the best decision right now is to find someone to walk you through it so you get the best possible counsel, because I don't know as much in this." He just admitted, he doesn't know everything in that moment either. He's never done freelance work. So he thought it was best to bring in the best expert, but he left it on me to call that person. And I actually still need to call them. So
good reminder.
He didn't do all the work for me in it.
So I love as you share this story is that I hear that your dad didn't shame you in the fact that you missed something in adulting. You're like, there's no way you have a playbook for how to do this. Is that right? He didn't shame you, but he walked alongside you, but he didn't do it all for you. So it's still a partnership.
Totally. And I think what meant the most to me in that moment was that he knew I can be an anxious person, like asking all the what if questions, like what if I lose everything? What if people see me as a failure? What if, I can spiral myself into this pit of worry. And my dad knows that. And he was about to board a plane when I found out about the taxes. And he got on the plane and actually bought Wi-Fi so he could keep talking through things with me. And he never does that. He doesn't do Wi-Fi on the plane because he likes to have that time for himself. But it meant the world to me that he did that just so he could keep walking through all of that with me and not let me get out of control in my head thinking through all of this and worrying. Wow. So he's been great.
Well, I want to highlight, too, that you said it meant the world to me. So dads, when you have an adult daughter, any age of a daughter, actually, she watches where you put your time, your money, your energy. And when it's for her and you go the distance, it's a deposit into her heart, in a deep place.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, let me ask you another few questions. I have so many things I want to ask you. How does your dad speak truth to you? You've kind of talked about it a little bit when you need to hear it, especially if you're not in the mood.
Yeah. My dad, I've noticed that over the years when I need someone nurturing, I go to my mom. When I want someone practical, I go to my dad. But he has learned to become more nurturing in the process as well, because he knows that daughters, he may not need to do that with my brother, but with daughters, he needs to empathize. So I think when I'm not in the mood, my dad has either learned to wait until I work through some stuff in my own heart first before he brings up a hard topic or a hard truth to hear, or he'll say, "Hun, I know this is probably not what you want to hear right now, but do you mind if I share some things with you that I think
that is profound. Say that again. Say what your dad, because I think the approach is as important as the words. What does he say?
So he'll say "hun" or "han." I actually really appreciate that part too, because it's very sweet, like using a nickname or something.
Yeah.
So for me, it's "han." That's something my family uses, close friends. So my dad will say, "Han, I know this may not be something that you want to hear right now, but do you mind if I share with you some things that I think you need to hear in order to make a decision or in order to move through this?" So his approach is asking good questions and helping. It's almost like he helps my heart get to the place it needs to be to hear what he has to say.
Excellent, excellent. Well, if you're just joining us, this is the Dad Whisperer, and I'm talking to 26-year-old Hannah Ellenwood, and we're calling this Dependent Independence, partnering with your adult daughter, because this is a hard thing for a lot of dads to go, how do I navigate this season? Well, Hannah's given us some secrets of what her dad, Mel, has done with her in this season of her life. Hannah, I imagine that you hear stories from your girlfriends about their dads at this stage of life. Any stories you've heard either recently or in the last couple of years about how their dads either miss their heart or connect with their heart?
I think the thing I hear most often from friends my age is that they wish that their dads were more involved than they are. And not in there making every decision for them or like hovering over them. But I think there's this sense that as a single adult woman trying to navigate this world, we just want our dads involved. Not even that we think we need to have them involved, but there's something so sick about having our dads involved in our processing and in our lives.
Exactly.
And I think it's because of the context thing. One, because he's just our dad. He is and should be the safest person. But it's being known in that context of like, he has known me since I was born. And as I'm going through this change, this change of becoming who I was created to be.
So he knows you that well that he's like, I've known you since you were born. I can speak into your life if I want to. But I love how you were saying a few minutes ago, Hannah, it's the approach. It's like, dads, your tone of voice, how you approach us has so much to do with whether there's a success or a bomb, and how we interact. So any stories you could share? You shared about the taxes. Any other stories of how your dad has really connected with your heart in this season?
Yeah. My birthday was in December, and it was in between my brother getting married and my sister getting engaged, and they're both younger, so you can imagine the emotions swirling with that. As happy as I am, there's also just a sadness there of waiting on God to fill that desire for me in the incredible way he's done it for my siblings. And it meant the world to me on my birthday. One of the traditions our family has is that we give the gift of words to each other. So we'll all sit around at dinner and share words of encouragement to the person that we're celebrating. So we did that on my birthday. And my dad always goes last. And those are the words that I anticipate the most and feel like my heart, they usually, whether they're simple or more involved, it always speaks to my heart in a very dear, dear way. And so I don't even know if my dad would know the impact his words had, but he just talked about how sad he felt with me for where things were at, but also how hopeful he was for me and how proud he was of me and spoke truth to who he sees I am because of what I've been through in these past few years. And that meant the world to me. Yeah. It spoke truth to my heart in a way that no other words from anyone else could really settle, if that makes sense.
And you said you had another example. Yeah.
Another one is a more practical or funny one, but I I have been needing to find new jeans, basically. And
that's so hard for us as girls.
It's so hard for women.
Yeah.
Really, like there's nothing for dads listening. I know my dad can go into a store and try on like 3 pairs of jeans and find a pair and be done.
Yeah.
But for girls, it actually involves your emotions. It involves your like decision making. You have to battle with lies that you could be hearing about your body as you're looking in the mirror. And so it's like something that I've been holding off doing because I didn't want to do it alone. And my parents were just here visiting and said that they wanted to go jean shopping with me. I actually asked them if I could because I wanted their opinion. And my dad sat through, my mom had some other errands to run, but my dad came into the dressing room of like 5 different stores, sat through seriously 50 to 60 pairs of jeans.
Oh my goodness. And not in the dressing room. I mean, I just want to clarify.
Sorry, no, outside in like the waiting area.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Thanks for clarifying. Still very appropriate. So I would walk out in the jeans and ask him what he thought, because I wanted a guy's opinion, and my dad's opinion, because I trust what he thinks. And he was very attentive, like he was involved in the process, not checked out. Told me what he thought. He said a couple things that to anyone else might have felt offensive, but me knowing him as my dad, it felt more funny, but also just spoke real truth to like, this is your body shape. These are the kinds of jeans you should probably be looking at. These are the kinds that don't work for you. And then at the end of that, I was prepared to go. I found 2 pairs that I really liked. They were super expensive, and I was prepared to go pay for them. And he sent my mom to come grab them out of my dressing room so he could pay for them. And that just blessed me so much.
I love that.
Even more than the fact that he paid for them, that he sat through that with me.
Yes.
And like gave his input. Yeah. Because I wanted it.
He lined up his money and his heart. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're almost out of time. I've got to ask you one last question. I love to end every broadcast with a go step, right? So dads can put their love into action. So today we've talked about that whole dependent to independent reality into adulthood, right? That daughters go through. So Hannah, let's end with one thing. What would you tell dads listening today that they could do to really support their adult daughters?
Yeah, I think it's one thing, but wrapped up in a couple of stages, if that's okay. The main overarching thing is to keep learning the stranger, because your daughter is growing and becoming, especially in those early adult years. Like when I graduated college, I was a completely different person than I am 4 years later today. And my dad has been super intentional about continuing to learn who I am and who I'm becoming. And pursuing me. So it's not just talking to me when I reach out and say I need him, but he's actually gone the distance to pursue me and learn me, and then know me as this person, because he knows me in context, but the more he can know me now, the more he can help me and coach me through other decisions that I'm making. So,
that's awesome.
That's what I would say.
And I love how you said, learn the stranger. It's like, I don't even know who I am now. So just keep pacing with me, Dad, and pursue me in this process. Well, Hannah, before we end, I have a surprise for you. I actually reached out to your dad. So those maybe just joining, his name is Mel Ellenwood. And I asked him to write something that I could read to you that expresses his heart for you. And I'm almost teary just thinking about this. So let's see if I can get through this. But here's what he said. He said, Hannah, I'm so glad Michelle gave me this opportunity to shout from the mountaintops the pleasure you bring me as a dad. Oh my goodness, I'm already tearing up. He said, by just being you, and he put you in capitals with an exclamation point. He said, it brings me joy to see you living life fully as you are, impacting each person you meet in a profound, deep way. I count it one of my greatest privileges to be your dad, and now as adults, your close friend. Exclamation point. I find myself being taught by you in the way you live your life, following God with the way you think and live. I'm so glad to be your dad. 5 exclamation points. Hannah, I love you. Isn't that, do I hear tears? Do I hear sniffles?
Yeah.
So what a beautiful conversation we've had today. On Your Mark has been Dependent Independence, partnering with your daughter as she navigates adulting. We've been talking to Hannah Ellenwood, and I trust that her encouragement to you dads of adult daughters will really go to your heart and motivate you to intentionally and consistently pursue your daughters this week. Go dads.